How we doing, folks? So we're doing kind of a double team video right now. So this is going to be a butchering video. We're going to be doing some rabbit breakdowns. And while I am doing all this, I'm also going to be doing a rabbit recipe over on What's in the Pot. So we're going to break down some rabbits. Super simple, super quick video. If you can break down a chicken, you can break down a rabbit. I do mine slightly different than the norm, I feel like. So I'm just going to go through and show you what I do. So stay tuned. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a rabbit breakdown. Went ahead and changed the camera angle because you don't need to see my ugly mug. And I'll be completely honest, it's 97 degrees out, and there is a probably 90% chance my nipples are going to pop out of this tank top, and none of y'all need to see that. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead, spread these legs open. Now, I know some people that'll split the pelvis so that way it's just split and you have part of the pelvis and stuff in there. I like to pull the entire leg off without the pelvis. So you can see there's an obvious separation there. So I'm going to go on either side, meet in the middle, and then you just pop that. You see it pop that femur right out of the socket. So now you're going to reach up, you're going to feel this part of the pelvis and just work your knife down. You don't need a giant cleaver for this. You don't even need butcher knives. You can do everything. You could do all of this with a paring knife if you really wanted to. A chef knife would be helpful, especially once we get up towards separating some of the saddle and the loin. All right. So now you got your two rabbit hams. So now we have the front shoulders. So these were very well-fed rabbits. So we'll pull that suet out of there. All right, so the flaps like this, I get people on either sides. Most of the time I'll throw them away just because, unless I'm doing like 30 rabbits, because then they'll start to accumulate. So what I will do is I will come down on either side, and what we have here is the saddle. So we have the end of the pelvis here. We're going to mark that right there, separate the bone, and snap that off. You don't need that. If you want to keep it, put it to the side. You can toss it in stock. Again, if you're doing 30 rabbits and you have a bunch of scraps left over, it's worth the stock. So now we're going to get right to the end of the tenderloin here, where the rib cage is. We're going to make another cut. Now, like I said, you can leave these on or you can leave them off. I'm going to go ahead and leave these ones on, pull a little blood clot out of here. If you want to do that, you know, tuck it in like a single mom.
I'm a mommy.
Pop that over to the side. All right, so now a lot of people will just pull these arms off. They'll just go through and do this, separate it off, and you got some nice rabbit legs there for like doing wings or something. I want all this meat. See all that there? It's not a ton. You can also separate this. So like go in, cut the ribs off, and then you have a second kind of smaller saddle. So what I am going to do, because I want all that meat, is I'm going to score down the middle there. And we're going to fillet all this off. And it also gives me the opportunity to get all this blood clot out of here from the slaughter process. And you're just going to follow those rib bones down, being careful not to slice your fingers. And I'm going to get that little piece of loin out of there. So the recipe I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing fried rabbit wings. Or not even fried rabbit wings, just fried rabbit. So now that I've removed all that, once you bread all this up and do everything, now you're going to have nice crunchy bits and all that fun stuff. Trim that fat off, toss that there, and we'll do the same exact thing on the other side. All right. And like I said, Trim that clot up a little bit. Again, that's just from where the slaughter happens, because again, I do the pull method. So essentially the head goes under a broomstick, yank up on the legs, separates the skull from the spinal cord, killing the animal instantly. But again, you're going to end up with a little blood clot because that's slightly traumatic. So again, if you would like, you can go ahead and save all these. Save all your ribs and all your pelvises and stuff like that. Toss it in a stock, and you're good to go. All right, so now we're going to do this rabbit the normal way. Like as in getting that second saddle out of here, removing the ribs and stuff like that. So like I said, pop those legs. Open that up. Now I'm doing this one at full speed just because you guys just sat through a couple minutes of me breaking down a rabbit. You don't need to listen to me talk and blah, blah, blah all over again about the same thing you just watched. Again, take your knife, down pressure, snap, crack, pop, take that off. Back to this. Remove that fat. Again, you're not going to get this level of fat in a wild rabbit. These are domestic rabbits raised for meat. So that is why we have that much fat on there. All right, come down here on the flap. Do that. There you go. That nice saddle there. And then you look at those tenderloins. They're going to be absolutely delicious, very tender. You can actually doing roasted saddles is absolutely fantastic. When I used to raise rabbits and do a ton of them, I would break all of my rabbits down. And I would do packages with just legs, just saddles, and just arms. Because again, you can cook these all very differently. And it is very helpful. So now I am going to remove the arm here. You're going to score it right here. And again, just like all other animals, the shoulder blades are not attached to anything else. They're a free-floating bone. So you can just cut that off right there. Cut that off. So now you have just the arm bones, as I affectionately call them, wings. Toss those to the side. So now you have this second saddle. So again, if you want to go through and save all this, you can. But what you can also do is do that. And then I like to remove the neck as well. Because again, you see that blood clotting and a little bit of trauma there. Doesn't look pretty on the plate. So go in there, remove some of this fat and suet. Get in between the ribs. So tiny. Slice that right there. Clean it up a little bit. And there you go. Now you got a second saddle. Good little loin there. Toss that in the crock pot. Toss it in a roasting pan. And you're good to go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to season these how I season them for fried rabbit in this. There is going to be a fried rabbit video on what's in the pot. But you know what? I'm going to push everyone from that video to this video. So we're going to do it here. So I love Cajun food. I was born in the wrong spot in the country. So I'm going to do some Cajun fried rabbit wings. So we're going to take our saddle, our hams, toss them all in here. Now again, you can do this with a Tupperware container or a Ziploc bag or anything like that. But you know what? I have a butcher shop. So I'm going to utilize everything I have. The vacuum seal works really nice because, again, it sucks all the air out. All the air that's in the meat, it's going to pull all that out, pushing all the flavor and everything in. So first thing we're going to do, I have some pre-minced garlic here that we're just going to toss that in because I'm lazy. We got some Cajun seasoning. I'm a big fan of Tony Chachere's, but I do not have any at the moment. So we're going to toss that in. I'm going to close that because that looks like it's going to be a disaster. Some pepper. And Gloves and salt tabs don't mix. Toss a little bit of salt in, just for some added flavor, because we're going to be using the Louisiana hot sauce. Bunch of salt in this. Don't want to overpower it. So we're going to take that, and we're going to just douse that in there. This looks wrong. All right, that's enough of that. That looks good. And we'll run this over to the cryovac machine. So, got this pulled out. As you can see, all the air's been pulled out and everything is just kind of mixing in there nice. I'm gonna let this marinate for probably 2 or 3 days. Reason one being, obviously I wanna get all the flavors in there. And reason two, it's 97 degrees right now and I'm not getting fry oil going in the shop right now with no air conditioning. So there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for the next episode of What's on the Pot. Should be coming out in the next couple days. And we'll see y'all next time.